cheating, forgive, or walk away when the heart battles the mind. Of course. Here is the story rewritten in American English, capturing the tone and emotional depth of the original. Claire never thought she'd be the woman asking the question, "Should I forgive a man who cheated on me?" Especially not when that man was Daniel, the person she had chosen to stand beside for 12 years of her life. They met at a fall concert in Portland. Daniel was in the row ahead and turned to smile when Claire absent-mindedly sang along to a classic song. His eyes in that moment were like autumn itself, warm, golden, and knew just when to be silent. 3 months later, they were in love. 2 years later, they were married. Claire was a high school teacher. Daniel was a tech engineer, the kind of man who wasn't classically handsome, but had a way of making a woman feel profoundly safe. They weren't wealthy, but their life was full of afternoons spent baking, camping trips in the woods, and evenings with their phones put away, reading side by side. Daniel always had a cup of peppermint tea waiting for Claire whenever she got home late. He never forgot an anniversary. Until the 10th year of their marriage. Claire started to notice that Daniel looked at his phone more than he looked at her. The late-night meetings became more frequent. The hugs grew shorter. And his reassurances, "I'm just tired, honey, don't worry," became as regular as a song on repeat. That winter, Oregon was hit with a more beautiful first snow than anyone could remember. But inside Claire, there was only ice. She found a receipt for dinner at a restaurant he'd never taken her to. Then a second one, a hotel in Seattle. And then a text message from someone named Maya popped up on his screen while he was in the shower. "I never thought I'd fall in love with a married man, but I don't want to let you go." Claire read it at least 5 times. Her heart didn't break. It just stopped beating for a few seconds. She said nothing for 3 days. Daniel, assuming she was just tired, didn't ask. On Wednesday evening, as Daniel sat in his armchair reading the news, Claire sat down, placed the phone on the table with the message open, and asked, "Do you love her?" Daniel looked at the text. His eyes didn't widen. He didn't panic, but his hands began to tremble. "Claire, I don't know what I'm doing. I was wrong." No explanation was enough. No grasp of his hand could piece back the trust that had shattered. Claire left that night. She went to her mother's house with just one small suitcase, as if she were going on a trip with no return date. 3 weeks later, Daniel came to find her. He brought flowers, not roses, but a bouquet of lavender, the kind Claire grew on their balcony. He knelt and said nothing. His eyes were red. His hands shook, just as they had the day he proposed. But Claire didn't cry. "Daniel, I am no longer the woman who wants to be kept by you. You can leave." He didn't argue. He didn't beg. But from that day on, Daniel began to deposit money into Claire's bank account every month, a silent, steady form of atonement. He didn't call. He didn't text. He didn't disturb her. But he sent enough for her living expenses, paid her insurance premiums, and even covered the tuition for the baking class she had planned to take last year. A year went by. Claire lived alone. She learned to bake, took up watercolor painting, and taught elementary school students, children who looked at her with an innocence untouched by the world. But whenever the snow fell, Claire thought of Daniel. She remembered the warmth of his hand in hers when she was cold. She remembered the sound of his guitar when he played to soothe her sadness. One morning in March, Daniel called. "Claire, I'm transferring to Canada for work. I might not be in the States anymore. I want to see you, one last time, not to apologize, just to say goodbye." Claire was silent for a moment. Then she agreed. They met at the old cafe where they'd had their first date. Daniel was thinner, but his eyes were still the same autumn eyes from all those years ago. "I'm sorry, Claire, and I know you don't owe me anything, but thank you for living so well."